All right, welcome guys to Results Driven by RW. I, of course, am RW. I'm excited you're here tonight. We want to jump into our session. I do want to start out with a couple of housekeeping issues. And of course, I like to go through the housekeeping because it kind of gives us all where we want to be and how we want to get to. And so first thing I want you to do is take some notes. So get to a place where you can take some notes. If you're driving, please don't stop and take notes, okay? Camera on if possible. I know we have a few people that are jumping on. Some people are watching us on other social media outlets. So hello, Facebook. Hello, Twitter. Hello. How you guys doing today? We'll definitely be able to hopefully bring you guys in and let you guys see what's going on in this session. Cameras on if possible. Those that are watching me live Zoom, I want to see your beautiful face. If your teeth are broken, put your false ones in. And let's keep it moving tonight. I want to see your smiling face. Ask questions or make comments. Do me a favor, check my chat real quick. Is it working? If you would do me a favor, type in your name and your business, or your name and your intended business. I want to know who you are. I want you to connect with each other. Remember, this is a network, guys, that we've developed to bring people together of like minds to try and push each and every one of you to that next level. And of course, next thing I want to do is let you know when we're gonna have some discussion. But first, we're gonna do some monologue, which I like my guests to do, kind of talk about who they are, what they've done. I'm gonna hit them with some questions. I'm gonna give you some opportunity to hit them with some questions also. We want to keep this as a lively conversation, but do me a favor, use my chat while she's talking, we're talking. That way we can come back to your questions or thoughts that you would have, that we can make sure that we don't miss the things that you have to say on tonight. I don't want you to leave this on tonight without getting a clear understanding of mindset. How and where is your mindset? And then what makes other people different in their mindset and their thinking. Real quick, I want to hear about a couple of wins. Now, I got my girl on here, but real quick, what we do is I go through some wins, because a lot of guys, they don't acknowledge their wins. They're always looking at what they didn't do, how they didn't do it. They look at their failures, the things that didn't seem right. And we spend 90% of our energy on the bad stuff, but don't focus on the good things that we do. So tonight, I'm gonna take a few moments with my overachieving friends and see, what did you do this week that was good? I wanna hear about a win. All right, my chat is open and your sound is open. So give me a win. Give me, who's gonna be first tonight?
I'll be first.
Jump on in.
Yeah, we kind of took a little time off to get our business reorganized, and we started catering again. And the first catering we did for a party turned out real good. So it was great for us. We got a lot of exposure through it.
Beautiful. That's what I'm talking
Congratulations.
about. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's how you get out there and make it happen, guys. The only way to make it happen is to make it happen. And so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to hearing that next level. Matter of fact, I was looking at a TV show, I guess in this third season, talking about caterers and how they're going out and making all this money, So I see people doing it, and I see you doing it too on that next level. So thanks, appreciate that win. Who else we got? Give me one more good win. Let me look over here too. All right, don't make me volunteer you. Oh, go ahead.
It's more of a personal level. I finally got my garage. I turned my garage into my sewing space, and then I turned one of my bedrooms into an office.
What?
So I can get organized.
Darling, that's what I'm talking about. As I say, it's not what you don't have, it's what you do have. And you did the one thing we talked about. Instead of trying to track down resources, you became resourceful and you built your business in your home. Great job. Dr. T, that's what I'm talking about, girl. That's how you get that done. See, that's one thing about being what we're doing, we're talking about, is you don't complain about what you can't do. We focus on what we can do. And what you did was take your business and put it now into your home. And now I'm gonna watch that thing blow up. I know you're working on some stuff for me too. So I'm looking forward to seeing that stuff come out next. Good stuff, guys. All right, let's go on. I'm gonna move on then, guys. I'm gonna move on a little further. So let's jump into our event spotlight. Do want to let you know, I know my girl is gonna be not on tonight. She's out of town traveling with her daughter, but she wanted me to make sure I make mention that we are going to have a pretty much tell your secret, write that book. my girl, Dashana Moore, she's one of our clients, and she's actually excited about teaching you how to write your first book, ebook, pamphlet, whatever that thing that would be, showing you how to put that thing together and make it happen. She's going to have mine done by the time the event starts. It's going to be an in-person event. And the biggest key is many of you, I'm sure, have a story to tell. Now it's time to actually put that story on paper, and we're going to show you how to do that, give you the tools, and also give you the opportunity to meet and connect with her. She's written, I think, over 7 books. And so to me, that is, you want to always roll with people that have already done what you're trying to do. And the good news is I know she's going to do a good job. So lock this in your calendar. It's going to be on Saturday, February 25th at 9:30 a.m. right at my office. I want you to come, bring a friend. It's going to be exciting. It's a free event. You know, all my events for my guys that are part of my coaching group are completely free. We want you to come learn some more. Last month, I know we hit real estate investing and strategies, and that was powerful. This month, we're hitting Tell Your Story. Next month, I'm going to show you, I have one of my other coaching clients that's going to show you how to make money on Facebook. So there's a lot of stuff we're trying to do to make sure that you push your business forward, okay? So mark your calendar. It's going to be a great event. All right. Next thing is, guy, I want to talk about a millionaire mindset. And so in order to talk about a millionaire mindset, I want to get one of my millionaire friends. And I want them to come. Now, she won't say it, but I'm going to say it for her. The girl is doing her thing. And I'm excited. I met her at an event. And the crazy thing is, it was one of those like, hey, who are you? Da, 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 da. I need somebody. I'm like, cool. She's like, look, I just need somebody to do the job. I said, I got you. And here we are. I don't even know how long it's been. I think it's been a couple of years. But we connected an event. And from that event, now I am so grateful and thankful to call her someone that I cherish as a person. We had a great conversation just the other day. That's what prompted even me asking her to say, hey, come on, be a part. She's got some name brand clients that I won't mention. I'll let her mention because sometimes they don't want to know who they're working with who and all that stuff. But I promise you, she's in that to-do cloud, multiple businesses, real estate, mortgages. I mean, you name it, she's in it. I'm very proud, excited to introduce my friend, Miss Alicia Taylor. I'm going to pull her up on the screen. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to work on my Zoom stuff together. You know, we're trying to work this stuff out, right?
No, I was trying to put my name in, but because I'm using my phone and not my computer, I couldn't find it. So I'm Alicia Taylor, everyone.
There you go. That's who she is. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to replace the spotlight. Let's see her on tonight. So do me a favor, guys. Clap it up for my friend, Miss Alicia Taylor. Alicia, please tell us your story, darling.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you so much for having me on your Millionaire Mindset call. I'm excited about that. And me and Ron, we met several years ago, like he said. Ron he's one of my favorite people because he lives the motto that I live. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So when I met him, he does insurance. I own a mortgage company. He told me what it was he did. I was impressed with him from the start, but I had an immediate need. It was after hours. I just left my office and went to this round table mixer type event. And he told me he did insurance. I said, I just sent a quote off to somebody. I'm going to forward this quote over to you and let me see what you can do with it. And then I told him, like I said, I don't like to do a whole bunch of chit chatting and fanfare. We don't have to be best friends. I just need to be able to ask you what I need. You tell me what you need for me to get it, and you turn it over. And this is a true story. Before I got in my car, I had that quote. I've probably now done, I don't know how many millions of home sales worth of policies with Ron Williams because of him just being ready in that moment. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. I could have been full of it. He could have been full of it. And we now have had a long lasting relationship, and it's been very great. So first lesson, be ready.
Yes.
Give you a little bit about me. So my name is Alicia Taylor. I'm from Las Vegas. I am the founder, mortgage owner, and broker of Mortgage Solutions. This year marks my 19th year owning this company. I've been in mortgage lending for 32 years. And I'm also a broker, and I own Clear Sky Realty, which is a boutique real estate company. I have about maybe 10 or 12 agents that work for me. I am the broker, but I don't do a lot of real estate because I'm normally stuck right here in this desk making the money happen for the real estate transactions. So as important as it is to have a great agent, if you can't get a person that brings the money, the deal's probably not going to go through because everybody can't pay cash for a house. So somebody has to do loans. But I do real estate and I do represent some pretty, high-end clients here in Vegas. Not any more important, any less important than anyone else, just more known and more popular. Outside of that, I am a brand new, which Ron and I will be talking about maybe on future shows. I'm going to be a real estate developer. So I'm about to break ground on my first 18-unit project, me and my husband. I am excited about that. I've been working on it since 2018. You know, those overnight successes that take 5 years, that's what we got. So that, and it's also in my wheelhouse. So mortgage, lending, real estate development, they're kind of all together. So that's kind of my story. I grew up here. I went to Rancho High School. I then left Rancho and went to UNLV, which I like to call University of Never Leave Vegas. And that is where I graduated from school. So I've been here my entire life. I've been married to my husband. This year will be 29 years. So I got married in 94, that's 29 years. Oh my goodness, that's a long time. And I have one child and she'll be 10 years old next month. So that's me. I'm a pretty hard worker. I work around the clock. I work all the time. If I gave any entrepreneur some advice, I would say live a little, enjoy every moment, smell the roses, all things I did not do. I lived a lot now. I lived a lot. I enjoyed myself. I had a great time, but I was always living for the next thing. I was always trying to build. I was always pushing. And then you look back, and once you get to a certain stage and a certain age in life in general, you start to regret the things you didn't do versus the things you did poorly. And you will make some mistakes in business. The world of entrepreneurship, even though the trajectory looks like this, the road there looks like this. That's kind of the way the road looks. So you started here and you ended here, but it wasn't a straight shot, or everybody could do it, right? If it was that easy, everybody could do it. So having a plan is part of the first step. That won't take too much time, but people ask me all the time, oh my God, how'd you get started? How'd you become successful in the mortgage business? I was an excellent employee. I learned a lot. I didn't wake up, graduate from school, and own a mortgage company. I worked for mortgage companies. I learned this craft. I paid a lot of attention. And like most people that open their own business, I always say there's really 3 reasons. The first one is because you don't play well on teams and you don't want to work for anybody. A lot of people open their own company because they just don't like being employees. The second reason is because you think you can do it better. And so you open your own business to do something that you can do better. And then the third reason is because you're going to do something no one has done before. Most entrepreneurs are born out of one of those 3 spirits. I came out of I think I can do this better. I think I can make more money working for me, helping more people than the bank is allowing me to help. I can open this box up. The bank is an incredible place. Big box banks have really small boxes. That's what I say about big box banks. B of A, Citibank, Chase, Citi, replace the name with anything, Wells Fargo, they're all the same. They want the perfect client. They want people who have really good credit. There's not a lot of margin for error. You can't have made some mistakes. I knew that there was a large space and a void in the market for those people. So I thought I could fill that void and do it better. Knock on wood, 20 years later, I proved that to be true. So if you have any questions for me, anything specific you want me to talk about, Ron, you just throw it out there.
I think you hit on some really good points, because ultimately what happens, and I think a lot of people don't realize, that it took time. This overnight success story that people hear about, I have to remind people I'm 26 years in the game. That means that I did not just come into myself. My story's, man, almost similar. It's crazy. Just work for somebody else. I had a great mentor that taught me the game, and I stayed long enough to learn the game to now
Yes.
do it the way that I knew I could do it. And that's something that's a lost art with a lot of people, is actually learning how to be a good employee. Man, I love how you said that. That's amazing. So now for where you're at now, I mean, how did you crack the code to really start working with the big high-end clients? Because obviously I know you work with little people, but I also know you work with some high-end clients. So how did you crack that code, or what happened
It's
there?
interesting that you say that, because I get a lot of people that ask me, how do you get high-end luxury clients? High-end luxury clients started as regular clients. A lot of them grow into success, right? So I've had clients that I dealt with when they bought their first house that are now, presidents of sports teams and vice presidents of banks and all kinds of things. So I've been doing this a really long time. Also, having a great reputation and being able to be referred. And something that people tend to discredit. A lot of people believe, look the part, look the part, look the part. I look successful, and therefore people think I am successful, and therefore they want to deal with me because they just think I'm successful. Now, what's interesting is they could be wrong and they could be right. Luckily, they happen to be right. So I don't like that fake it till you make it, but I do like dress for the job you want. Speak to the space you want to be in. Be excellent at your craft and know your skill set where no one can tell you anything different. I tell this story. I've been in the same building. I'm in the building on West Sahara. I've been in this building 20 years. When I opened my mortgage company, I came from Wells Fargo Mortgage. I was second in command of the West Coast region of Southern Cal, and I was number 2 in the entire nation. So when I say my team made millions and millions and millions of dollars, we made millions of dollars for that bank. I didn't make millions for me, but I made millions for them, right? And I left and I knew a lot. And I was in an executive suite when I first opened my company. And because I come from banking and mortgage, I knew how to go find business. I went to all the banks because I know what they can't do. I know you can't do this. I know you can't do that, but I can send those people to me. And I had a really high-end client come to me from Citibank, very wealthy, owned a beautiful home in the lakes at the time, this is pre-Summerlin. So, before Summerlin was a big, big deal. So living at the lakes was a big deal. And he came in, he brought me his taxes, and he couldn't get the loan done at the bank. And I left the meeting room and went back to my executive suite office to go get something. And he followed me back there. And when he opened the door and saw that my office was only a 10 by 10, instantly he thought I wasn't qualified to handle his property or his product in his loan. And he goes, well, do you even know what you're doing? I mean, do you even know what a K1 even is? And he challenged me. He's a really big guy, really tall, about 6'6", 275, corn-fed country guy. And I said, I absolutely know what a K1 is because I have 3 of them, unlike you. I said, and you were at the bank and they've already told you no. That's why you're over here. You're over here because they can't do what I do. I said, so I suggest you go back to that conference room, have a seat, and let me do what I do. Sometimes you have to be that person. You have to be so confident that you know what you do, that when a person thinks that you're not the part, because you don't have the big executive office that you can't afford, looking apart when you don't know the job. So when I finished with him, needless to say, he was my first high net worth client. I've dealt with him now for all 20 years that I've been in business. We've probably done, I don't know, $30 million worth of transactions together. We've made a lot of money together, but it took me having to let him know what the bank can't do. That's why they sent you here. Trust that process. So have that kind of confidence, and you get that kind of confidence from knowing your craft. So whatever space you're in, whether that's catering, whether that's hairstyling, whether that's running a ministry, know your stuff. And that is how I've become successful. So how I got to deal with high net worth clients was proving that I'm worthy of high net worth clients.
Wow, so it's almost like you said, it's a mindset. It's almost to where now you have to realize who you are and know what you're not. And because you've studied, because you put the groundwork in, because you had to go back to your background of knowing what you've already done, which sometimes people do forget where they've come from. In other words, you had to reach back into your old background to let yourself know that no. The reason you came to me is because they couldn't do it. Now you're here with me. And I think a lot of people on this Zoom, and actually I'm going to be dealing with this with them on how that breaking those money barriers in the mindset of knowing that you have to know that you are the bomb.com. You are the one they're looking for. They chose you to talk to. Anytime somebody comes and sits in my office, I didn't come get you. You came to me. And it brings you in a position of power, an aspect of knowing that you know your stuff. You've been there long enough. I love what you said about not faking it to make it. I am number one on that deal. You know, I was sitting there the other day, Alicia, I was fixing a little back of my car, and I was thinking to myself, man, Ron, you can go out and do something like this, but I own 2 trucking companies. I own 4 trucks. And so instead of spending $100,000 on a vehicle, I spend $100,000 on a trucking company. And so it's funny how the mindset has to shift to where you don't want to fake the funk, just be who you are and build into that. But I love dress for where you want to go, because that's one thing I did do. I dressed always and made sure I dressed for where I wanted to go and not where I was. And so, actually I tell some of my guys, if you're a CEO, start looking and acting like a CEO. Don't act like you just.
I completely agree. I agree. And I still to this day, and you got to think, the business that I do specifically is mainly all referral. So just like you, Ron, I don't advertise. You don't see commercials with Alicia Taylor and Mortgage Solutions. I can barely keep up with the business I have anyway. And so anyone that comes to me was sent to me, and a lot of them are sent by real estate agents, peers, but a lot come from banks, financial advisors, and every blue moon, just mainly clients who sent people over the years. And they go, well, I don't understand. The bank already told me I couldn't do it. You know, how are you going to do it if they couldn't do it? Because everybody believes the bank is some kind of authority on lending. And I tell people all the time, when you graduate from the bank, you get to come over here and start as an assistant. That when you graduate from there, you get to come do this. This is PhD lending. That is undergraduate lending. The bank is where we all started. So I clearly have to be more experienced 30 years later than I was 30 years ago. So the bank is not always the authority. And you're going to have to, as entrepreneurs, understand you may be a catering company. You can't compete with Mr. Chow, the largest restaurant in Vegas, but that doesn't mean your food is not better, and it doesn't mean it's not as good. So sometimes those names make you feel intimidated. Just have confidence in your space, and that not faking it till you make it. We always say, face it till you make it. Just dress for the job you want, stand confidently on the ground, and live the life that you've imagined. And part of that, and I tell my daughter, you're really confident when you really have a good grasp on your subject matter. I could stand up and talk to 1 million people. I could talk to 1 billion people about what I do all day, how loans work. If you ask me to explain Sputnik or how the solar system works, I'm gonna hit you with the beatbox. Because see what had happened. See, I don't know that. That's not my subject matter. So be an expert in your space, and you'll find that no one can talk around you because you know this.
Wow. So now I know you don't toot your own horn, but let me toot it a little bit for you. So you rang the bell on Wall Street. What was that all about?
So I had a company call me. They wanted to buy my mortgage company. So they had put together a valuation and they wanted to buy it. And I just, at the time, wasn't really for sale. And to impress me about how great of a company they were, they invited me out to NASDAQ to see, as good as you think you are, little Miss Taylor, let me show you who we are. We're going public on Wall Street. So it was an absolute incredible opportunity. It was mind blowing. You know how you check things off the list, all the things you have, that bucket list. It wasn't even on the list because it never seemed like that was something I'd want to do. But the moment it became a reality, it was on the list and then it was checked off. It was great to be around specifically a minority investment firm. So the company is Minority Equity Opportunity Act, MEOA. I bought stock in the company. Even in this slaughter, my stock hasn't gone down. And what they do is they incubate minority businesses to become large businesses. So if you have a small trucking company, they help you get the capital together so you can go public one day, so you can scale, so you can go from state to state. So they put together an entire company just to do that. And they raised so much capital, they were able to go public. And they used me as one of their advisors because I own a mortgage company. Ultimately, I didn't sell the company to them, but I've gained now almost like an executive board and an entire like charter board, whatever I need to tap into somebody that has more resources and knows more than me, I call them. I told you I was going into development, I called them. Hey, there's some other sources, and that it's good to know people and get to meet them.
Relationships. It sounds like that's what I hear you scream is relationship.
Absolutely.
And those only built through work. So I did have a question that came out from one of our people, and they're asking that what year or what point did you really take off in your business? Where did you see the real results to where it's like you were putting in that work, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just exploded? Or did it even happen?
This is the part of the story that I have to tell two ways, right? So I was one of those really fortunate businesses. I opened my mortgage company at the perfect time. So I got my license in April. I went to Spain to go learn Spanish. I came home and opened my doors in July. By December, I was making a ridiculous amount of money. So my company just took off. I mean, we just took off. I was young. Luckily, I was married. I was a homeowner. I was all those things from working in corporate America, because if I wouldn't have been, I might have been Lil Wayne. I don't know who I might have been. I might have been a rapper. I mean, I was making money like hand over fist, right? That's the easy part that sounds like, oh my God, this is the story that's just incredible. This is where those ups and downs come. I'm in a business that the entire industry crashed in 2009. So my company opened in 2004. By 2007, the writing was already on the wall. I was very fortunate to be able to keep going, but many people lost everything. So I don't like to tell the story about how I just took off and it was so easy, because then I have to tell you about how hard it was after. Staff full of people, having to downsize, keeping all my employees, but bringing my expenses in. So I started off like gangbusters, but I very quickly understood what entrepreneurship is really about. And all the basic things that I knew about money, which is you keep more of it than you spend. It's rule number one. Never spend old money on new stuff. That's rule number two for me. Never spend old money on new stuff. So if I have money saved, I don't go take that money to get a new car. Old money is for things that make money. New money is for new stuff. So I lived those, and I tried to teach it to the 20, 30 loan officers that work for me. Out of all of them, none of them listened. When the market crashed, they lost their homes, they went broke. My peers in this business lost their companies. A lot of them lost their marriages. Wow. You know, losing money causes a lot of marriages to fail. So those basic principles of being sound and making sound financial decisions is how I was able to weather out that storm and still be here today. So it took not that long to get started, but it took a whole lot of time to get restarted.
I feel you, because I was in that same deal.
Yes.
But like you said, you know, once we had to take a step back and take some step forwards and keep it moving, just like the pandemic. You know, people don't realize that shifted everybody. And so we all had to regroup, but based upon what we already did. And so like you, I didn't have to let people go. I didn't have to do a whole bunch of stuff, because I made sure I kept the ball rolling. We didn't wait to get there. In other words, I love what you just said, which I've never heard said that way. Never spend old money on new things. I guess I do that and didn't even think about it in that aspect, but you're absolutely right. Wow.
Right. My girlfriends used to tease me all the time. You know, I'm a little bit of a fashionista in my younger age, not so much anymore. So I would go shopping and, you know, you want to get a bag and the matching shoes, and I just buy the bag. Alicia, why don't you buy the shoes? They used to call me the skimpy tycoon. So all the employees that work for me, they refer to me as the skimpy tycoon. And I say, because I didn't make enough bonus to buy the bag and the shoes at the same time. Well, you have enough money in there to get them both. I don't spend old money on new stuff. So when I get next month's bonus, if there's enough left, then I'll go get the other part. But today we just won't get both parts. And I live by that. And I always have.
Wow, that's powerful. Well, I tell you what, you and me, I don't know why we challenge ourselves with these crazy challenges, even though we're there. I'm running another half marathon this month, but you competed in a bodybuilding contest, and I was like, I looked at you, I'm like, what the, is that Alicia? What made you do that, Alicia? I mean, all the success, all the stuff you're doing, why the additional challenge health-wise? What was that about?
You know, it's funny. I have some mantras that I live by in life. Everybody has their thing, right? Being motivated. I believe you need to be in control in all facets of your life. I just believe that for me. I don't ever project what I think onto other people. But for me, when I am not, like if I go, you know, Alicia, I need to get myself in better shape, and I don't do it, I feel like I've let myself down. I set things that I believe are attainable, and then I don't like to not do them. And after the pandemic, during the pandemic, I got COVID really bad, really bad. Didn't feel it, but turned out it really affected my body. I gained a lot of weight, and I just decided I didn't want to be that person anymore. I didn't like being out of control. And so I knew it was going to take something drastic to make me do it. So I said, I'm going to compete in a competition, and I'm going to do it while I'm still 50. I started in November, and I would be 51 in July. So I was like, I've got to get this done in about 6 months. I hired a trainer. She got me ready by April. I started at 149 pounds. And this is going to sound ridiculous. So it just sounds ridiculous because the numbers sound crazy. And I competed at 113, and I'm 5'7".
Wow.
And I am not bony.
I should have got the pics. I should have got the pics.
Weight I could get off. I didn't even know I could get that much weight off. I hadn't been 113 pounds since I was probably 13.
Wow. So in all the successes you've had, you still challenge yourself in areas. Where did that drive come from? Where does that come from? Does it come from your parents? Come from someone that mentored you? Where's that uncontrollable? You're like me, we're content, and we talked about this. I wish I could be one of those people that just was like, I'm cool, I'm good. But there's always that next level. What is the driving force for you? What makes you be that way?
You know, the drive, I think, came from my father, both of my parents. My mother's one of the hardest working women on the planet Earth. I said, if I could be half the mom she was, I'd be twice the mom of most people, right? Just the nurturer, pushed me to death. But my father was like that military type guy. And we weren't military, but he was like military. Like we were kids, and on Sunday, we had to iron our clothes for the whole week. We had to line them all up. You had to already have your clothes ready. Just stuff that I thought was crazy that prepared me later for life. So I've kind of always been regimented and disciplined. And I was on a radio show, I think I told you earlier today, and the lady asked me a very good question. She says, where did your ability to handle money come from? Because part of my mantra in money is that the reason why people struggle with money is because they don't have a good relationship and understanding of money. Once you realize that money is printed every single day in this country, money is everywhere, it's not as unattainable as you make it to be. Secondly, money is a requirement. So when then you realize I need money the same way I need air and I need water. I have to have it, and they make it every day. So instead of feeling like I'm not worthy or I can't get it, just, I have to have it. This is a reality, so I just have to get it. So when she asked me, when did I first understand it? I take her back to being a kid in high school and my mother and father buying me and my siblings all of our clothes and all of our stuff. And I got my first job and I got my first check, and minimum wage when I started working was $3.35 an hour. I worked 14 days just like everybody else. I got my first check and I spent it all in about an hour and 52 minutes. And I realized in that moment, like about 3 hours later, that I was dead broke and I wouldn't have another dime for 14 more days. That is the moment that I understood money. It was in that moment. I learned that lesson really early, the hard way, and really quick. And thank God I picked it up at 16. So after that, I just never did that again. I didn't like the way it felt, kind of like I didn't like the way my body felt. And I made some drastic changes. I didn't like working for 14 days, spending my money in one day and being broke for 14 more days. I was like, oh, I can't live like this. If I didn't have parents, I wouldn't have been able to even put gas in my car. I literally spent all the money. I just hadn't thought about it. So that changed my relationship with money. And then when I started my finance career, I started in the credit card industry. I was 19 years old. And I'll never forget the first Christmas. I started in July. By Christmas season, I was a supervisor at Citibank, MasterCard, and Visa. And I had people that were older than my parents and my grandparents calling me, begging for credit line increases because they had to buy toys and things for their kids for Christmas. And here I am, 19 years old, living home with my mom, driving to school with a car that's overheating. And I have the power to tell you no. You have lived a whole life and done things I hope one day I'll get to do. And you have to rely on a 19-year-old college student to make sure your kids have Christmas presents. And it wasn't I didn't have discretion. You click buttons and the answer is either yes or no. And they would cry and they'd be belligerent and they'd be cruel and some would pray and all kinds of things. And I said, lesson number 2 I learned about money: never let anyone else control your financial destiny. Don't let that happen to yourself. I don't want to find myself in a space where I call a 12-year-old tells me I can't get something. Keep your credit straight. Keep enough money in the bank to make the right kinds of decisions so other people can't stop your dreams or your requirements. So those are kind of the way the person you see today became here.
Wow, that's powerful. I mean, just hearing you talk, that's why we're so connected. Only because I mean, the mindsets are just, wow, it's just crazy because in most cases, especially people that are where we're at, it's like we don't think about it in those directions. We become more, and I talked about this in our session last week before last, but we become so many consumers that we're trying to get everything everybody else has, but we can't even, like you said, we're not in control of our lives. And that's the one thing I totally agree with you. I told my people, I told my wife, I don't care who's in president, I don't care who's in that, as long as my economy, the economy of Ron Williams is together, then it doesn't matter what other people are doing. And I think sometimes we're looking for somebody to save us. We're looking for the government to save us. We're looking for politicians to save us. We're looking for all these people to save us, when really, if you don't sit down, look at your financial situation and get that money talk together with yourself. I love what you just said, that money mindset, is to where now you can find yourself in these positions that people that have worked all their lives now look back and they have to go to a 19-year-old and beg permission to buy Christmas gifts for their kids. Wow.
Right. I said, I'd never want to be there. And I tell people just in general, owning your own stuff. Like you just said, you have to be in control of yourself. I have like a little another mantra I use. And I always say, most of my problems can be solved by looking in the mirror and not out the window, right? Whatever it is, I probably can fix it. You can fix most of your problems by looking in the mirror, not out the window at who else did what, why this didn't happen. I don't like to let other people control my destiny. Now, you need other people. We're a communal person. We're humans. We need people. I don't believe in self-made. People say, Alicia's a self-made millionaire. I kind of cringe, and I know they're saying that because it's a term of endearment, like you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps and you did this by yourself. Alicia is a well-raised millionaire. Alicia was very fortunate to have parents, teachers, people around me, previous management that I learned from, that I learned what not to do from, that poured into me. So I'm not necessarily self-made. I did a whole bunch of hard work, but I had also a whole bunch of power tools. I didn't have to build the house with a flat head and a screwdriver. I had some drills.
Man, I get you. I feel you.
So self-made, who's really self-made unless you're an orphan and raised yourself outside of, some family and you were just outside on the street yourself. If you had a family or a pastor or teachers or someone in your life that helped point you in the right direction. You did the work, but somebody may have poured into you to make that happen.
That's powerful. That's powerful. We got another question that came in. Actually, somebody look like they're looking for some information on how to make some money in the notary signing agent business. Any tools or tips that you can throw their way, being the mortgage guru that you are?
Absolutely.
Go
So
ahead.
I'm going to send this information to Ron, and Ron, you disseminate it to the person or to the group. One of the ways
Thank
to
you for joining me for coming on. I set you an hour, but
there we go. All right. One of the ways that you can get into the notary business is to join a notary service. So there used to be, back in the day when I started in this business, matter of fact, one of my very best friends worked for me, and she decided the lending business wasn't for her. She wanted to go back to school, and her passion was to teach. So she wanted to get her master's degree. I told her, don't quit, stay on board, and I'll make you our notary. So we used to be able to do that. So she'd come in at the end of the month and she'd make $75 from signing and notarizing all our people. So that one day at the end of the month, she might make $750, $1,500 in one day. Now, companies don't allow that. You have to be licensed, bonded, insured, and most title companies use notary services. So you just get your notary stuff and upload yourself to that service. And then you'll get notaries from all over the country and all over the world that you'd get business from. But people don't know of these notary services because they're not really in the industry. So you got this stuff and you don't know how to get business. I'll send you one of them because that's the largest one that we use. So we send our stuff to the title company and they just upload it, and they just, whoever is willing to take the job kind of gets it. And the person that's willing to go the furthest makes the most money. And you'd be surprised. Vegas is a place that always needs someone to sign. I can't tell you the number of times clients are at these hotels when it's time to close on their house in Georgia, Texas, Florida, and they're here on vacation. And the people that are kind of not lazy, but just don't feel like driving to the hotel to sign you, that's the person that gets all the business. So I'll send that company to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, guys, real quick, we're going to ask her a few more questions. What do you guys got? Any questions or thoughts? Open up your chat, open up your mics there. I want to ask her a few more questions. I'm going to let her go. I told her I wouldn't hold her too long because she is on the move. How many of you guys are appreciating Miss Alicia for being on tonight? Do me a favor, just put some hand claps out there. I'm really appreciating this information. Guys, once again, you're only as good as the people you're around, and you'll find out what happens. All right, Mr. Terrence, I see you got your hand up. What you got, man? Ask Miss Alicia. She's here. Let's use her.
Yes.
Hold on. My hand was up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw I do.
Well, hello.
Oh no,
Terrence.
I enjoyed it. Hey, how you doing? Oh, you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah. Hey, how you doing? My bad. I really enjoyed her session right there. It was very educational and inspiring. So yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate that.
And feel free, ask me anything you guys want. I mean, I'm here as a resource for you tonight. If it's just something, or if you're lacking some confidence in some areas and you want pep talk, we do that too. So
it was one thing I had. My bad. It was one thing that I did, like when you said, what was it, in 2009 when everything had went downhill, and how you said your old money makes your new money. You don't spend your old money on new stuff. That right there, I took note of right there, and that's some good principles.
That's how I weathered that storm. Because see, that old money needed to be used then. That's exactly how I did it. And I saved, so I was able, in the days when we were making loans that were $300,000 and $400,000 that may be making you 20 grand, to making that same house loan at $80,000, and now it's making you $1,600. You used to make 20 grand on a transaction, and now you're making 1,600. You can't do the same things you were doing if you had yourself in a situation where your rent was $10,000 a month, and your mortgage was $10,000 a month, and your car note $2,000 a month. And that's another thing I really try to preach, and I'm so happy you said that, Terrence. When you have the money is the time that you should spend it on things that cost money. Oftentimes, a girl that worked for me, who I still love to death and runs my LA office, I have an office in LA and she runs it. She made tons and tons of money working for me. And she had small student loan debt, in small credit card debt. And I used to always tell her, why haven't you just paid that off? Like when you get the money, why don't you just pay it off? No, Alicia Taylor, I'm not trying to pay that off. She calls me Alicia Taylor. No, Alicia Taylor, I'm keeping these coins in the bank. When you have the money is when it's easy to spend it on debt. When things start to retreat, then you're scared to spend the money on your debt because you need to hold on to it. You could have gotten rid of that debt. And then when you don't have money, you're not as stuck. Every single house I've ever lived in, I have owned, free and clear of all debt prior to me opening this mortgage company. So when the market crashed, all these employees that made all this money who could have owned their homes, but instead they bought cars and girls and trips and some people planes and all kinds of things. Then the market crashes and now they can't even pay their mortgage. Well, when the market crashed, I didn't have a mortgage. So again, it was real easy to keep the boat floating when I didn't have all the weights inside the boat, right? So when you have the money, spend it on debt, bring that debt down. You can always get more debt. So if you have it, if you've got an extra $5,000 coming in, take $1,000 and pay off that credit card. Take $500 and pay off that car loan. Makes a big difference when you don't have a house note and a car note. Those things change your life.
Woo, girl, you're preaching. Well, let me get my offering money.
Yeah.
Rich, you got a question for us? What you got?
Yes. How do you get more exposure beyond word of mouth? Like, how do you get your business name out there just beyond like family and friends, or just locally, like pushed out further?
I'll tell you this, and me and my husband just had this conversation. Matter of fact, he went to a class yesterday. I was registered and couldn't go. You guys, we guys are in an era that is unprecedented to be entrepreneurs. This is the cheapest environment I've ever seen to advertise. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Now, I'm a relic and a little bit of a dinosaur, so I don't even have all those tools, but for people that have those tools, you can literally put your product in your words, in your name out to tens of thousands of people for such a small fee. Ron will tell you, we've been around 20 years. We're just doing a commercial on Cox might set you back $15,000 in 1 month. In Facebook, you can do ads that reach way more people for $50. It's just crazy. So I would say if you don't have a big budget to get your name out there, invest your money in a social media marketing company. Yeah. And that's where you have to do some work because you got to find a good one, right? Or go on and get some of that free YouTube education and watch the people that do it, see the things they do, buy a couple little ad spaces, because you may have a small little group on your Instagram or TikTok. My daughter is 9 and she has something like 500 subscribers and I don't even know what she puts out. I'm like, you're 9. So the point being, you can get an audience and get eyes on your business by doing very little financially. And then the other thing is, I hate to say give your product away, but offer your product in trade. You see a person like Alicia Taylor. You see a person like Ron Williams. He's doing a meeting on, what is it, the 25th. And he goes, we're going to have 30 people at this meeting. You know what? I'm a caterer. I'd like to provide some cookies, some trinkets, some cupcakes, and have my cards around, because if those cupcakes are good and he has the right people in the room, which the kind of people he knows, they're going to buy cupcakes.
Yes.
Awesome.
So barter your trade for things that can ultimately get you more exposure. The next thing is do things like this. Do things. I've learned, people ask me about once a week to be on their show. Alicia, play on my show, come talk to my group, come to my YouTube channel. I very rarely have time. But if I was trying to find some clients and do business, I'd be at all those things. They don't pay me, but I get to tell my story. My story may inspire someone. They may then call me about one loan. If one of you guys called me about one loan, I might get some shoes and not the bag.
That's good advice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alicia, what states are you licensed in? What states are you licensed in?
So we are obviously here in Nevada, California, Colorado, Florida, Texas, and Georgia.
Boom.
Yep.
See, she's
And access to any state. So if a person calls me and I'm not licensed in that state, I'll refer you to someone that's reputable that you can trust that is.
Wow, that's that go beyond. That's what we talk about. Go beyond what you already know and try to find. The answer is never I don't know. It's let me find out. Let me find out.
I say that in my business. The answer is never no. It just might be not right now. No one has the ability nor the authority to tell you you can't own a home. Of course you can. You just may not be able to own one right now.
Wow. I like that. I like that. One more quick question, guys, and we're going to let her go. I appreciate her time. Oh, my goodness. I'm way over. But when you get somebody this caliber, guys, you want to use them. These are the people. Some of you guys have been asking, how do I get around people that are millionaires? How do I get? I was hanging out, and this is don't hate on me, but me and Larry Bird go to the same gym. And so I was at the gym with Larry Bird, and we were like, I told him I'm making him do it. Next time I see him, I'll make him do an Instagram with me. But we were in the gym, and my thing is, Larry, pass me the ball. He's like, no. I said, I'm open, coach. I'm open. He said, no, give me the ball and just get out the way. And the mindset that he has, and it just really is amazing when you're dealing with legends and you're dealing with people at that next level. It makes you think next level. And so once again, I'm so grateful to have Miss Alicia, especially someone that I can call, I can talk to. We talk business, but we talk personal stuff too. And so Alicia, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I hope I've given a little tidbit or a nugget that helps you, and use me as a resource. I will definitely send that eServe notary company to you, Ron. So when I hang up, I'm gonna do it so I don't have to forget. And then whoever that is with the notary company, join that board. And then find others like them and put yourself on all of them. And then when jobs come through, you get to be known.
Yes. Oh, I think I said something that I skipped over. I was getting ready to get out of her. Anybody else? Anything else? You good? All right, guys. Appreciate it. Ms. Alicia, let you go. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. You are the bomb.com. I will make sure we get your information out, and people need to know who you are. And I've been pushing her too, because she's like me. The hardest thing is when you get like we have gotten to where we got so much business already. It's hard to get and reach out to get more business. But I did want to do this type of environment. And I'm so glad she joined me to give back, so to speak, to show people that, hey, it wasn't an overnight success. It was something that took years and years of just grinding, putting things together. And like, I love what you said, Alicia. Thank you so much for those nuggets, those bombs you dropped on, it's going to go like this. But the key is you got to stay consistent no matter what's going on. And that's where most people lose it, because they're not consistent long enough to actually see the results. I mean, I know you've seen that too, Alicia.
Yes. Well, you guys have an incredible night. Thanks for having me. And I look forward to coming back after we start our development, and maybe we can talk about that.
I'm is. All right. Thank you so much. Bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. We got Alicia out. Guys, I appreciate you. Ooh, wait a minute. There you go. All right, guys. Was that phenomenal? Was that phenomenal? I promise you that I'm going to start bringing on more and more of my friends that I work with, multi-millionaire friends. These are some of you guys have asked, how do I connect with these people? I'm going to get you connected. I'm going to get you to be able to talk to people. I have another young man. He's on the NASDAQ. He's got his own company, multi-millionaire. His last deal, he just did 15 million. Did it in 2 days. And so just people like that we're talking to, that I want to connect you to, get you involved with, get you around the mindset of what keeps them ticking and going. All right. Other than that, guys, real quick, I know we're short on time, but what did you get tonight, Rich? Tell me what you got. Give me a nugget.
No, I got so much. The biggest thing for me from her was when she talked about not holding on to so much savings when you got debt going on. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I gotta save money because in the event of something happening, but then we got bills that we need to pay off. And instead of just paying them off, we're just paying like a little by little. It's there. And that was a big nugget for us. So I'm gonna go through, we're gonna look at some things, and we have enough money saved up to pay a lot of stuff off. That was a good one.
Beautiful. T, what'd you get, man? Terrence, what'd you get, buddy? What'd you get?
Oh yeah, quick question. When she said that she had buy the purse the first month and then the second month she get the shoes. What was
Yes.
the nickname? Was it Skimpy Tycoon?
Yes, I can't remember, but yeah.
I never heard that before, but that right there had popped up in my mind because again, it was very important on how she said with the old money making the new money. I haven't thought of it like that. Like it was a different paradigm shift. So that was a gem right there also.
Beautiful, man. It's crazy too, because it's not that we don't have it to do it. And actually some of the people that know me, there's stuff that I'm like, man, I got to pick that up. But I got to wait till I do this first, and then I'm going to get it. And it's a different mindset because you don't celebrate before you do the thing. You celebrate after you do the thing. You reward yourself for what you've done. Don't reward yourself for what you haven't done. That's pretty much the concept behind that. So good stuff there. Germany's, I need to tune in a little late, but what'd you get? Did you get a nugget?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I came in late. When I came,
Uh-oh, you went back on mute. Oh, you went back on mute. All right, we'll come back to you. Dr. Tiffany, what'd you get? What'd you get tonight? What little nugget did you get?
I got so many, but the one I got the most, well, the one I like the most is live a little, enjoy every moment, smell the roses so you don't regret it later.
Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy right there. That was good. I wrote that down too. That's one of my nuggets I got involved in. Something that I've just
I can't even hear no more.
is enjoying the moment. Oh, Germany, so you there? I can hear you now.
What happened? I can't hear.
Uh-oh. Germany, can you hear us? Oh, she can't hear us now. She got back on mute. Dr. T, I appreciate you. I wrote that nugget down. That's something that I had to learn because I had my head down doing the work and had to stop and look up and see what else was going on. But the one book that changed my life was actually by Eckhart Tolle, and it talked about just enjoying the moment, staying in the moment, and that helped me tremendously, and I changed some things around. So yes, good stuff, good stuff. Robbie, what'd you get? Nugget, what'd you get?
I think if I had to pick something, it was just the overall money management of everything. Because I think I was celebrating before I was doing something, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I was celebrating first, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna do this. It's like, no, do something so you have a reason to celebrate.
I love that. It makes a big difference too. And me personally, I know that's what drives me because sometimes, I've seen people celebrate too soon and that's what gets them in trouble. But it's like celebrating after you've done the thing, then now reward yourself. It's like the carrot I think I talk about sometimes. You gotta have a carrot, something you're reaching towards, something to make you say, okay, after I do this, then I can do this. But if I don't do this, then I can't do that. And it might just be something as simple as a little belt or something. It don't matter what it is. It's just that you give yourself some type of carrot. So good nugget there, good nugget. Celeste, so glad you're on tonight. What nugget did you grab tonight?
I'm here, sorry.
No
Wow,
worries.
it was absolutely amazing. The nugget I grabbed was just to keep going. Even though that, she said she started off at a fast pace and did everything like tanked when the mortgage crisis tanked to 2009, somewhere over there. She just kept going and she could have quit. And she just kept on being persistent and reaching her goals. And look at her, that's just amazing. So I really liked it. I liked her take on the old money, new money. That was a really good concept. I like that too. And stop to smell the roses. Sometimes we get over consumed with work and don't take that time out. And the time we have to take is now because it may not be there later. I'm already 30 years into the game of working and building my skill set. And so I have to stop, smell the roses now while I can.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. That's why we bring these people on so you can get some other perspectives on pretty much learning how to do these things and keep going. Thank you so much for being on, Celeste. I appreciate you. You are amazing. You still at the office? Look at what, girl, you just got the office. And you
I did. I did. So that's job number 3.
Well, thanks for being on. I know how busy you are. Appreciate you. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Troy, what's going on, my man? I know you got the kids. What's going on, man? Did you grab a nugget?
I liked, just like everybody else I'm hearing, like appreciating the roses. I know I'm definitely that person that I'm learning to look up and, just kind of appreciate, some achievements, just knowing that's not enough though. I liked the reference to like the debt component. From what I understood, it was pretty much, all debt ain't bad. So if you know how to use credit cards appropriately, old money, new money, that was a beautiful analogy as well.
Yes.
What else? I think overall, just exposure. Like I see what you're doing, having these different speakers come on, coupled with what you're talking about, the exposure, to what's really going on is a beautiful thing. And then just, knowing what money is, relearning, unlearning and relearning what money truly is.
That's powerful, man. That's good stuff, man. I appreciate all you guys. Did I get everybody? I think I did. Also that t-shirt you mentioned there, Dr. Tiffany, absolutely make that t-shirt, man. That's just one way you connect with people, is do something just on, like she said, on the fly, and you never know what type of opportunities. Because like I said, we met on happenstance. I was doing something at an event and ran into her, and boom. And that's been years ago, but she sent me, gosh, I can't think about how much business she sent me just from our relationship. And it's been just pretty much to where it's like, hey, I know this guy's going to take care of me. And once you become that person to people, then it makes a big difference in everything else you do, guys. Makes a big difference. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for showing my girl so much love. Do want to let you know, of course, mindset. We did the questions. We went through it. You already asked a bunch of good questions. Here's our wrap it. Don't go it alone, guys. Get some help. This right here, this network, this group, those that are watching us on the other social media networks, the reason I put this together is to put you, number one, in a position to win and make sure you're able to do all the things and get all the tools you need. But also, most of this is going to be mindset. The applicable stuff that I'm going to be showing you as we keep going is going to be important, but it's going to be your mindset wrapped around it, okay? Of course, you guys, how can I help you? One thing is I'm different. And notice that I am a performance coach. I'm not a life coach. I'm not someone that's going to tell you a bunch of stuff and not tell you how to do it or not get you to get it done. Okay. I am a results driven type of guy. In other words, and those that have been on my programs and been a part of what I've been doing, they're seeing the results of what they want. It's not about talking about it. It's about being about it. Like I just picked up another building, another almost 6,000 square feet. I'm sorry, another 6,000 square foot building. I've been working on this for 8 months, and I just closed on it. Just signed the paperwork last week. So now we've been able to stretch out, and so now we have 2 buildings on different sides of of Las Vegas that now I'm managing and running. And it's crazy because you never think that these things would happen, but because of the consistency, it all works. But notice I said 8 months. 8 months in the game, working on this deal. Now, boom, it's here. Another deal I'm working on, $80,000 deal. I've been working on it for 6 months. It's coming to pass now. Guys, there's so many things that you got to remind yourself that it keep going, but get the help you need. Of course, I can help out with all these things. And if I can't, I got people that can. You're a part of our coaching every Thursday. We meet, we come together. Some of you, hey, look, I just want to let you know the midgets are coming. They're coming to bust up your kneecaps. I need you to, but you guys sign up, be a part, go to my website, Results Driven by RW, and sign up, get locked in. I really want to meet with many of you one-on-one. I wish you would invest in yourself. My last client that set up with me, she started within 90 days, had her first contract. Her 1,000 that she paid me, well, actually now it's 3,000. She's kept on going. Is now turned her into almost 30,000 a year. So what if you gave me 1,000 and I showed you how to make 30? Is that a good deal for anybody? Is anybody gonna buy that? Guys, it's not about what you pay, it's about what you're gonna gain from what you pay. You gain a lot of knowledge this way, 26 years in the games. All right, those of you that are getting started, 0 to 30 days. I'm actually coming up with an ebook. I'm going to show guys how to do this, to go take your business literally from nothing to something within 30 days. Same client I just mentioned, I believe she's got now over $50,000 of business credit, and her business hasn't been up a total of 6 months yet. And so it's just a matter of getting around the right people, right banks, right training, and before you know it, we catapult you to where you want to go. All right, guys, I appreciate you being on tonight. Thank you so much for being who you are. I believe that there's greatness in you, so be great because I know you are. All right, I got nothing but love for you. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, I need you to be on. I'm thinking about doing a family and friends day because I'm going to talk about next week, why are you not making enough money? That's a question I want to find out. Why are you not making the money when all this money is out here to be got? Okay, I got so many ideas and so many thoughts I want to pour into you. And those that already have businesses, I want to show you 1 to 2 little steps that will double your income in your business. So you don't want to miss next week as I show you how to make more money. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Enjoy your week. See you next week, Thursday. God bless you guys.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.